Hi, welcome back everyone. Welcome back to BIMAGE Cafe. So with me here, I'm your host here, Mr. Shafiq Abe actually. Alright, so you might know me as Abe, right? So in this episode, it is our ninth episode. Ninth episode. Okay, so with me over here, you can see my face still glamorous as usual. Okay, so you might be knowing over here what are we gonna talk about today. All right. So as I sense that you can see the things over there, right? It might take your attention for a little bit, right? So what we're gonna do, what we're gonna talk about is, as you can see, right? So in this episode, what we're going to talk about is about SketchUp's role on how it can help within our own design and build industry. Okay, how also it can manage to being part of the storytelling tools, not only part of design, but it is considered as how you do the explanation in terms of the story itself within SketchUp, how you express your own nature of design within your SketchUp, right? So I'm quite excited for today because you know me, who I am. Yes, this thing over here, this topic for today, do not be for sure. Because why? Because we will explore on how SketchUp and it's having some kind of emotional gap between all of the technical drawings and on-site terms and also the design that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so again, as usual, I have another two mics over here. This is mine, and then this is for who? You might know who and you might not know who, okay, as I will introduce you today. And this is my guest today, alright? So please do welcome. Oh, yes, we have here. I don't want to say it yet, alright? So, this is our guest from SketchUp. Okay, everyone, I don't want to say his name. Again, I repeat, I don't want to say his name because why? This is what I'm always gonna say. So, exactly what here today. Thank you so much for being our guest for BIMAGE Cafe Podcast for episode number 9. Okay? So, my usual question goes like this. Who are you? Please do introduce yourself. That's why I always say like this. Yeah. Who are you?
So firstly, thank you for the wonderful invitation, Abe. My name is Derrick Chong. I run the ASEAN regional business for SketchUp Trimble.
So his name is Derrick Chong, Mr. Derrick Chong. So we have a Mr. Derrick Chong over here from SketchUp Trimble. He's an Asian. I'm sorry to how can I say again? Regional
manager.
Regional manager.
Or we call it the ASEAN leader.
ASEAN lead. He's an ASEAN lead. It's a big guy. No, he's a big guy. All right. So Mr. Derrick Chong, thank you so much for being our guest today. So as I already invited you previously, I just want to ask you before we go for the our talks. Okay, so what you can say about happening in Malaysia regarding on the design stage? Because as I'm being told by I just get to know you within ChatGPT only. Alright. Okay, I asked. You know what? They tell you everything, and then I already know you what's you're doing roughly on such an overview. But what you can say about what's happening in Malaysia within SketchUp industry now?
Within the SketchUp industry, if we look at the Malaysian context, meaning that the context of design and the context of the builders themselves, I think Malaysia is now back to a stage of regrowth, with the stability in the government once again. We see foreign direct investment returning. We see projects being revived and restarted again. We see that there's an inflow of work and money to continue projects which have stalled. And to complete projects which have been stopped for a while, So if we even look at the lights of the new MRT lines, that's an example. If we look at some of the news you've heard about in East Malaysia in terms of infrastructure projects, you know they're infrastructure projects. You will hear about news about perhaps ports, things like that. So it's Malaysia is not quiet in terms of the economy. I think it's good news for every Malaysian.
Good news. Everyone is growing around,
That's right.
Not only they're staying in the, as I said, in the box doesn't do anything, but everyone is growing.
That's right. In the context of SketchUp especially, definitely we have a role to play. SketchUp is very widely used and very loved by anyone at the concept design stage. Concept design and concept modeling stage. So we are, in a way, our first fan base are the architects and the designers themselves. But way beyond that today, our tools are no longer just used by them.
I see.
So coming back to design and build firms, or what we call the construction companies or the builders themselves. Today, these models which are built in SketchUp are used almost across the entire life cycle. And what do I mean by that? The other parts of the life cycle would include, they will use it for things such as construction sequencing.
Oh, so because I've been involving with SketchUp since 2013. Apparently from there I just know SketchUp is just only for modeling.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So I just want to ask, what's when you first time you touched SketchUp actually?
The first time I saw SketchUp?
Yeah.
Actually,
not so like you start to use it.
Oh, yeah. In my 20s actually.
Your 20s? Yeah. What year?
My first experience actually is unique. It wasn't, I didn't first open it up myself, but it was a friend of mine he was studying architecture, and I was just curious as we were hanging out one day. This was in my 20s, so you can imagine, 20s we were hanging out, and he said, "Hey, I want to show you my design, And of course, he opened his laptop. I didn't know what software it was, and later I discovered, he uses SketchUp. So I naturally discovered that this was the tool he learned and used, and when he became a professional, he continued to use it. He was actually showing me a design of an idea, he was looking for an apartment at the time, and when he saw something which he thought that he could refurbish and redesign, the architects, they love it, right? That's their passion, right? So instead of getting a standard 3 designs from the developer who's trying to sell them, he looked at a second-hand unit, and the second-hand unit, he wanted to make it his own, so he was showing me how he would visualize his home, his idea, and that's when I first discovered the SketchUp logo.
Oh, I see. Okay, during that time, is it like the SketchUp 8, in under SketchUp 8?
Yes, it was quite long ago, but even then it was a very intuitive tool. It was a tool which was very fast and easy to use, because after a while I naturally grabbed this mouse and I said, can I play with it for a while? And I realized it's actually very intuitive.
Very user-friendly.
Yes, correct. I didn't need to read 4 hours of a manual or go to a classroom. And of course, I remember that because that was the first time. But it stuck in my memory because I realized, wow, he has a tool which communicates his ideas so easily. It's a tool which
it's a tool that can show to other people what his mind is talking.
That's right. A tool for him to express. A tool for him to sell. Which later became his profession. Because every time in their profession, they have to translate what they have in their mind to the customer. And if they agree and they meet under this vision, and then that's how it starts.
So since 2000 or like 90s?
Yeah. So without revealing my age, in my 20s.
Your 20s, yes. Like for now, I tried to get a push on him, like 15 years or 20 years ago.
Okay.
Plus minus.
Yeah, that could be a question. That could be the question in the podcast later.
For sure. So you just thought that your friend is an architecture. So can you tell me about yourself? Are you an architect also?
No, I'm not actually. By study and profession, I actually started with computer science.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that shocked me. I thought that you were an architect.
Yes, but in my first year, I quickly decided, and I realized that no, I don't want to be a programmer. So it was a very painful decision, as I think, especially for my parents at that time. When I took a different turn, so I said no, I'm not going to become a programmer. So I studied business IT, and I majored in marketing actually. Yeah, but I never went into any other field for the rest of my career.
Like the AAC industry doesn't even involve within your background.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
So over the years, what has given me, I would say, the exposure into this segment of the market is from the 20s onwards. I've worked for different sets of IT companies. I've worked for the likes of IBM. I've worked for the likes of Microsoft. I've worked for the likes of Autodesk. And in the time spent there, I've really had the opportunity not just to understand the software pieces, but the hardware, the networking pieces. But the most interesting thing is, for me actually, at least in my life, is I think meeting customers of every single industry. So over time, I've had many builders, construction companies, and not to mention other segments which is not on today's podcast. But over time, and I think in my past 12 years plus covering the ASEAN countries has also been very enriching, because I've met the largest builders in our neighboring countries, so the largest builders in Indonesia, in the Philippines, in Vietnam. So I began to appreciate and see how the dots connect, how the lines join, and see if I may just use an example. Maybe not I cannot specifically say the name of that large builder in Malaysia, but that large builder in Malaysia has presence in Vietnam and has presence in Philippines, But when we see that happening, we know that the design and build business or the construction business is not just limited to a country itself. They are.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it the large builder you mentioned about ends with A?
Yes.
Okay. Now we can say. All right.
I'm not sure.
All right.
I'm not sure if I could say it so on this call. So some things will require customer permission.
Understood.
So, but it's fascinating as I think as I meet these customers from other countries, I see the same familiar names. I say, oh wow, this Malaysian company is doing work there, and this Malaysian is doing work there, etc. That's a bit about my background and exposure to the industry.
For sure, understood. So everyone, now you get to know who is Mr. Derrick over here. Okay, so I just want to repeat again. So our title of topic talking about today is the human side of SketchUp in construction. So it's a tool for the storytelling, right? So actually, I just want to ask you on this. Eventually, you say that the first time that you saw SketchUp within your friends. Okay, so you managed to know that it's quite powerful to visual our ideas. Okay, so for current industry now that we already know that most of the industry, all the companies also, that is even our government also saying that, Malaysia government also saying that we need to move to digitalize, right? So even though this IR 4.0 now moving forward to IR 5.0, I heard about it. Okay, so is our traditional 2D plans work scope or something? Is it like often to fail to communicate with the stakeholders or something?
Definitely, it is not sufficient. It is not enough. I think coming back to your first point, Abe, about digitization. Digitization is already now and forward, right? It isn't something like 10 years ago.
10 years ago and 10 years upcoming. No, it's
that's
now.
Right. It's already now.
It's now.
And I think more so in the construction industry, which has always been a bit of a laggard compared to some other industries. Yeah, they've always been playing a bit of a catch up. Today, a lot of them, as they adopt, right, and they embrace digitization, they themselves are starting to reap the real value of technology. Yeah. And coming to your example, if a construction company is becoming digitized, right, what does it mean for them in everyday sense? That means, let's just not talk about big wide concepts, but how does it help my everyday work in my teams, right? How does it help my project teams? How does it help my construction teams on site? How does it help my dealings with my many subcontractors and specialist contractors in which I work with every day? So it's not just a discussion about nice visuals design in SketchUp. It's more than that. So the first point being, the construction companies are moving and embracing this digitization. Coming to that example, which I liked you brought up, right? Is 2D sufficient? Definitely no, right? Using a very layman example, if I show you something on just a white piece of paper, 2D, and I convey something in 2D, and what I was conveying basically is a floor plan in 2D, versus I show you the 3D model of what the house actually looks like instead of the model. And I think the way we are created, and whether you believe or you pray to a higher being or a God, you'll know that He's given us eyes to see the world in 3 dimensions, right? We don't see the world flat. So in the same way, when I communicate to you a visual in three dimensions, you will instantly get it, right? You don't need a manual. You don't need someone to explain to you. You will naturally take the model.
Like we feel the design.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, and that's the point, right? If you see that thing in 3D, you want to go into the environment in 3D and you want to experience it for yourself. And I think that's how far we've come. So is 2D sufficient? Definitely no. I think
it's useless.
It can only convey so much, whereas 3D conveys so much more.
Even though the workflow of the architects, so when we done the 2D, the drawings, and then later when they finish up, the 3D must come. It's a must. Or else the clients or we ourselves doesn't see what's happening within our own design.
That's right.
So it's quite helpful. It's a must, as I say. It's a must.
It's also, I think, in the construction business, if I may use another example, it's very difficult to explain something in 2D. And I think for perhaps some of our audience today who will appreciate it, if you're in the construction business, you deal with many different subcontractors. You also work with many foreigners. So can you imagine, even if we could speak the same language, we may miscommunicate. But if I have to work with someone who doesn't speak the same language, and I struggle to communicate clearly and accurately.
It is to say that the 2D plans, right, is different from each of the country. The format also different. The names also different, right? So if we go to with the 3D, everything is the same.
Correct. And we have, in a way, a common visual language to explain something. So sometimes I may not be able to explain it in even in Bahasa Malaysia, but or I may not even be explaining it in Vietnamese language. But if I could show you that, hey, this is where we are in terms of the progress build, and the thing I'm trying to explain to you is that these rebars go here, rather than me try to say it or to show you something on paper, I'm going to pull out that 3D model and exactly you will know where it is. So that's the power.
That's the power of the visualizing within SketchUp. So like we know that SketchUp also And yeah, you know the core of things, right? So normally people use it as a pitching and for presenting.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and even though during the meetings we can showcase what's happening within the design, right? So what's we gonna do within the design also during construction, and within the coordination also can be done,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, as you know, so that we already know, okay, SketchUps just not only focusing on 2D now, and on 3D. I'm sorry, on 3D, because what we've been updated by your side, right? Or maybe of the like us also, BIMAGE Consulting, we keep always giving exposure. What is the, SketchUp nowadays? Latest one can helps you not only on 3D, not only on design. Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of it that we know it can also help you creating the coordination within among the designers when you can collaborate within one single model
That's right.
within multiple modelers,
Yeah.
within multiple of designers, right? So how can I say all this? How can SketchUp starting to implement all of those weeks can easily call it as a common data environment that can make all of the stakeholders involved within the same design, right? So yeah, I just want to know how can SketchUp start to realize that this need to be.
So in SketchUp, we have a collaboration tool called Trimble Connect.
Yeah.
Trimble Connect actually it's powerful in the sense that what is its real value, right? So if we think about it at the base level, Trimble Connect, they may think that it's just a common data environment, a CDE. It is that, but it is more. Yeah? So imagine if you had a place to put all your project work, your drawings, your models, and you may also upload models from other softwares into Trimble Connect for the purposes of, for example, clash detection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you may getting MEP information from somewhere else. You might be getting structural information from somewhere else. But it is a place for firstly to look at whether there are problems and to solve those problems beforehand. Yeah. It's not because it's just a tool which can read other software's data. Yeah. It's also very powerful for both small teams and big teams. Yeah. Our largest builders use it to coordinate large projects because there are many people. Yeah. But for smaller customers, let's say I have let's say I'm a large architect firm. I have between 30 to 40 architects, designers, etc.
Large 100 lah.
Okay.
Let's get 100 lah.
100. Okay. Yeah, maybe 100. Yeah. And how would they organize their teams? Yeah, of architects, because they themselves cannot just function on Google Drives and file sharing and using messenger apps alone. So it's a very powerful way to work together, and I think in today's world we are not always in one place at a time. So even for designers, builders, architects, they tend to be moving on the run. So they need to finish work sometimes not in their office or studio themselves, but they need to be working on the run as they move to another site. And the same tool enables them to also get the customers' input and buy-in on ideas. So Trimble Connect has another thing called link sharing, and where they can share cut scenes or visuals of
the 3D model?
Yes, of the 3D models.
Directly to the client.
Directly to the client.
So basically, it's just like a revolution through within the conventional or the traditional way or workflow.
That's right.
So now, apparently, just like a revolution that you can involve within all of those, like the usual, the architects do the presentation, and then only they see what's going on, not the other side of the stakeholders.
Yes.
But nowadays, you're saying that SketchUp now, when we do a design, the other stakeholders can see the progress.
That's right.
So not just the beauty of it.
Yeah. The people who are involved can see the progress. They can work to complete the progress of the job. And what's powerful for the customer and the creator, right? The creator in the sense that, let's say for example, Abe, let's say you are the architect, yeah, the principal architect in charge of this project. You have a few juniors working with you, and the customer, and the customer is, quite decided. Hey, I like, of the 5 designs you propose, I've come down to this last one, yeah, which I think might be suitable, So he's asked you about the design, you've talked through costing of the design, etc. And you are now going to try to close, and get the customer's decision to decide. Yeah? Now, do you just wait in the studio and summon him back to Kuala Lumpur, while he's actually gone away to holiday in Langkawi, right? So with the power of this kind of tools today, you can literally say that, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm going to share with you, this is the final, if you have any more comments, please just, do a markup, do a to-do list, and let us know. If not,
So the client do directly the markup.
Yeah,
and not only the supervisor of the architects do this, and then you send the client. No, the client directly.
That's right. And I think, but of course, I think to some architects and creators, they don't like that. Like the feedback's too close.
Yeah, right? The feedback's also, and there will be a lot of changes.
Yes, correct. Yeah. But I'm saying the technology allows you that. Whether or not you want such a close feedback is the human aspect, not the technology aspect.
Yes. That's
so for some interactions with customers, they love it, because the fact that you sent this to me, I'm sitting on the beach, and I almost decided, I just want to tell you that, actually we are good for A, we're good for B, we're good for C. I think D, we just need a minor changes, and now we are done, right? And
then all of a sudden the wives come, or the husband come, you want to see them, so and then blah, 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 all of changes.
Yes, that's right.
And then go back to the architect or the designer,
yes.
Oh yo, right now there's a lot of changes that need to be done. So we need to stop this. If me, I'm just talking about the perspective of an architect.
Yes.
And if we seeing it both sides, actually they are looking forward at the end user.
Yeah.
To the client side.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? So they will ease their work.
Correct. Yeah.
They will literally be involved with the design.
Yes. Correct.
It's theirs.
That's the right point. They get involved or engaged in the design, and I think that's the power of the technology, or the power of digitization in our business today.
So not only on 3D modeling.
Correct. Which is because you have such a deep level of customer involvement. I like to use the word engagement. Of course, when the customer engagement is high, like you said, there's the human stress factor, right? Because it's like, hey, I need some time to breathe. But the engagement is high. It also means that you may come to the agreement fast. You may solve the problems fast. And I think this is how, again,
then we get the cash fast.
Yes, that's right. Correct. Yeah,
the payment so fast.
Yes.
Right. if they manage to done all of the changes.
That's right. So in the same way, the example we spoke about is a design example, but in the example applied to, let's say, on-site projects projects, right? It's even more powerful, because on-site at projects, things are happening every day, right?
Every day.
Concrete is being poured. Your piling is being done, right? Your lorries are moving, So in all these aspects, right, the models, 3D models created, which can be created in SketchUp again, are used for things such as, what are my project site logistics? Site logistics is important because, if I have a big project on Bukit Damansara, right? I don't want to cause a massive jam on top of Bukit Damansara because I messed up my site logistics, So I need to know, and my subcontractors, my delivery trucks need to know, hey, what time do I deliver? Where do I drop? Where do I store? Where do I wash out, right? Because we are constructing now, and we are in an open public area, right? So again, the models are used very powerful. I like to use examples of some of our largest Japanese builders. They use it so powerfully. So site logistics becomes very, not just clean, but in construction is about safety first, right? It becomes safe that people don't die, and there isn't a spill which caused someone rushing on a motorbike to suddenly go into a location which maybe had concrete spill, or an area which no one realized that we need to put more lighting in this area during projects, right? Because the scaffolding is in a dangerous it's taking up more space onto the public road.
There's a lot of space taking.
So a lot of these things, the power of the tools is when they are used by project teams, they are used to facilitate discussion, and I like the word you used earlier, involvement. Yeah, and the power of the involvement means that they can solve issue before they come, right? Because in any business, if the issue or the problem has come, there's a price, there's a cost. There's a cost of rework. There's a cost of time loss. And I think especially in construction, time loss has a domino effect on many other things. If kind of like you mess up your schedule, you will mess up my schedule, which in turn is going to mess up all the arrangements I had done. Yeah? And I think that cost of the effect is incalculable. The cost is very high. It's very hard to
Understood. As you see, also it's quite it is for the clients also for this. If let's say that if we talk about that the conventional way, like the architects always done. So do you see this on how they communicate each other? Is it okay, or like the most suitable to use by the design and build industry, like a main con or something? Are they the most suitable to use it because they literally controls everything? They can see everything within what's happening within the project.
Certainly. If I may quote here, and I mean it is referenceable. You may go to YouTube. If you look up the case of the relocation of Shibuya Station, done by Tokyo Construction.
Is it in YouTube?
Yes. Yeah.
So we might be putting the link below, right? I might ask my editor, our editor, to put a link and to see how about what we're going to talk about.
So the relocation of Shibuya done by Tokyo is a great example. Complex project, with such a short period of downtime. How do they in a way I wouldn't use this term perfect construction, but a construction which is almost flawless, right? That within such a short period of time you can do such a complex project involving so many people over a 24-hour period, right? And I think
non-stop?
The
24 hours?
The actual downtime requires that they work night and day. And you may find an example. I believe today we already have the videos in both Japanese and I think you may find the English translation videos too. But I think at this point, I think our marketing teams already have got the customer consensus for the white paper release. So you may even read it if you want. But that example being one of the most interesting ones, because Shibuya is interesting. I've been there myself. It's crazy, 7 million passengers walk through the station in a week,
In a week? 7 million?
7 million, right?
Like one whole Malaysia.
yes, correct. I mean, if you walk through, the tunnel in KLCC during peak, right? And I'm sure we are complaining, right? We're saying during peak,
for sure, yes.
But I cannot imagine 7 million in a week, And so when they had the project to relocate
how
the
bad is it? 7 million in a week. So if you divide by 7 days, one day is 1 million.
Yes, correct. So how do you plan that shutdown? How do you plan that relocation? How do you plan that within this short window of time, right? That everyone needs to know what they're supposed to do. So this is where the models come in again. So in the many examples of they use site briefings, and anyone in construction design build, they know site briefings is when they call all their contractors in, and they need to discuss, they need to be involved and solve as many discussion points as possible. Like for example, if my job was to lay the cranes, I need to know exactly when do my cranes arrive, which ones are placed where exactly, because my type of crane, some I may have, some I need to pre-order, things like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure,
and they
sure.
all have a lead time, things like that. And if my job was to maybe clear the area for the steel bars to be dropped, I need to know exactly that
Where is it?
where, and are they cleared, right?
Yeah, they clear on that particular time.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
At that time. So again, it involves another contractor who has probably done the groundwork. Yeah, the groundwork guy must know that I must have finished my work beforehand, right? So it's all related. Yeah, but because there's so much coordination involved, you can see that's where the power of 3D model tools, in this case used by SketchUp, reused over and over again. So in that customer's case, and even if you may know an even larger builder, Taisei Corporation uses it across their project teams and construction teams. And it's not just in the hands of their design team. In fact, the design users within that company is actually very small compared to the rest who use the models. And to give you a visual of how they use it, can you imagine if I'm a builder or if I'm even a manufacturer, and if I've now created models, 3D models, they're no longer toys. They are 3D models of actual stuff I build and do, right? Because if I construct a 50-story condominium, once I've built it once, I have the model already. I may make the variation. Now if I built a tunnel, I built the 3D models once, and I have it again, right? And I know the value of these models now because I can reuse it again for maybe the next project and the next project.
Totally
and my
agree.
people can continue to improve and evolve those models until, for example, if maybe I'm just great at roads and bridges, after a while I have my own special IP of roads and bridges, right? And that's my specialty as a contractor. But if I like to use an example, I don't know why today when I see you I think of DBKL. I don't know why.
The face of DBKL.
I don't know why. Maybe it's the nasi lemak I had.
So like the one who's selling or the officer?
The one by the store.
So me look like the one by the store.
No. No. Anyway, So if I was a different kind of a stakeholder, such as I'm DBKL, I'm a local town council or one of them, it's very different. The power of the models then become do I have my digital models and the map of what I govern and what I maintain. So it's interesting. So if I'm a town council, shouldn't I also have the same map or group of libraries? Because I'm doing the maintenance work every year, right? I get a budget, I improve, I change, I redesign. And today in many parts of KL, there's also, as you know, there's a lot of urban redevelopment, right? Urban redevelopment starts there, right? So if I may quote, and I'm sorry, although since we're talking about DBKL, so for example, if DBKL had a urban redevelopment project somewhere, where do they start? They will probably start with a site scan. So scan an area which maybe today is abandoned. After finishing the scan, it now goes into the hands of
The designers.
So it could be in-house designers, it could be outsourced designers, but they start to visualize this space. Today abandoned buildings, but in the future it could be maybe a beautiful part of the Klang River. Maybe it's a part of the River of the Life project, right? And once it's totally not just redesigned and reimagined, it's not just sold and built and constructed one, but in the hands of the stakeholder or the custodian. The DBKL is the custodian. I want to own these models too. Because after it's done, delivered and handed over, I still have to take care of it, right? I need to know where are my structural pillars. I need to know if 10 years in the future we need to break down an area, what's the impact and how should it look like. So the models, which sometimes we forget, there is a digital value to it, to the customer. And I think even we realize that when customers realize that this is not just a toy where I make nice stuff to look at.
Yeah.
It is a tool in which I can create assets for my own company, or for my own body.
Yeah, after we finish the design.
Yeah. And these digital assets have real value to
Nice.
them and also commercially.
So this is where it comes. It helps you on this. Okay, so then we got to know on how Derrick say how it can help within the BKL's environments, and so we can know not only the BKL, all of the PBTs also can help with it on how to regain their and also retain their assets within the states also, right? About it. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Derrick. So how about that? You say that you are the regional manager, okay? So from your own perspective, how can Southeast Asia, which is ASEAN, right, get to all of the firms get to use SketchUps not only for production but presentations? So how is it can help within the whole ASEAN?
Maybe not so for a region-wide initiative, but I think as we talk to many different of the large builders, the large construction companies in any of the ASEAN countries, whether they are the likes of the largest construction companies in Vietnam or the Philippines or even Malaysia, Indonesia, every time we have a chance to show this value or show them the value of the use, we do. And really, I think in every chance we get, we always discover a very, I would say, open eyes from the customer when they realize, I didn't realize that there's a value to using these 3D models.
I see.
And then we love to see that, because when they realize that the models could be used in projects teams to not just to save money but to save lives and prevent problems, to smoothen your project building. And when they start to see this value, I think we ourselves we feel happy, that they are harnessing the power of technology. Because technology shouldn't be just a price. And I know we've joked about this before. I say it shouldn't be just the price of SketchUp Pro, at $400 or SketchUp Studio. It has no meaning until they realize that I saw in which product was that again? And then, for example, at the end, if they discover that SketchUp Studio has this feature which can take in all that LiDAR output, right? And produce that point cloud scan.
Directly from there.
They realize that with the point cloud scan, my real work starts. And once my SketchUp work starts, it doesn't end. It doesn't end with the design team. So I think we find it. I personally find it very satisfying when, if maybe we have met the head of design, and the design team already use our software, but when they discover that they could use these models and now transfer the value to other departments within the construction company, I think they themselves see the value to it. And we are in a way just showing them that there is so much more value you can harness from the models you create. It's not just a design.
It's just not a design.
It's actually more than that. It's a 3D asset. It's a 3D model which later you can reuse and over again. Whether you are the custodian like the government, or whether you are a private commercial entity who you may even want to build your own set of digital assets, because it becomes your IP, becomes your value. Right?
So they're saying that it helps on that part of the assets. So talking about ASEAN, just now again, talking about ASEAN. So literally, our solutions, right? The SketchUp itself speaks the same language within all of the region. When we start to do design within the SketchUp, so everyone knows about the design. And it can easily say that it also speaks the client's language, like what they want, what they really want. Not even like they need to go, if the client stays in Indonesia, I give one scenario, the client stays in Indonesia and the firms in Malaysia, right? Or might be the client stays in Vietnam and the firms in Indonesia. So they doesn't need to talk because they can literally send the design to them, right?
Yes.
And then they already know what they want. Just the markup and comments, and from there speaks the client's language.
That's right.
Right. So that might be that helps for the, as per se, fasten the payment. Final up the design much more faster. Okay. Doesn't really need to wait the day of presentation. Okay.
Yes.
Just like literally going on to the create session, if you know about it, the create session.
That's right. And I think the days of waiting for the customer, I think those days are gone. Because I like to use example like today we may communicate like very fast because we have so many apps, right? Messenger apps, right? And we no longer, I wouldn't say that maybe if we went back 15 years, Abe, I would say, could you wait for me at the lobby at 9 o'clock, right?
Oh.
Because why? Did we have a WhatsApp? Did we have a line? Did we have a phone, right? So we'd have to make that temu janji dulu, right? Hey, can you wait for me at 9 o'clock at the bus stop, right? But today it's the same, right? You literally just
anywhere, anytime,
anywhere. But of course, you may respond it to later, but it's so fast to communicate. I think, and in the same in visuals and design, like the customers, whether you are closer in the engagement, yes, you have that quick feedback and the quick ability to say that it's a yes or no or maybe.
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing. That's I said, it's the beauty of it.
Yes.
Now SketchUp is not the previous SketchUp. Now SketchUp. They said it's the beauty of it. Right. So talking about this, you as a SketchUp regional manager, I just want to ask on this now. What's next for SketchUp's plan in terms of communication tool for design and build?
What's interesting today, I think...
You might be spilling the tea, I don't know.
I mean, I think I will firstly say, check the blogs, reach out to a lot of our resellers in the country when they want to hear what's new.
AI?
The ones which I think I can speak about and I can talk a bit more about. AI definitely is one of the very interesting parts of SketchUp today. With diffusion, we have the ability to iterate many designs. So I think in this podcast later you might want to just show a short clip, of what diffusion.
Click on here, maybe. Inside show, maybe.
So if you see that short clip of diffusion later, you realize that these tools are not meant as replacers. Some customers, they may feel, is this tool a threat to what I am today? Rather, we see it differently. We see tools such as diffusion as augmentation, or enhancers. That means something which you do today, it just makes you faster, sharper, better at it, right? And diffusion being an example, and I'll use this simple example, designer might be working for 8 hours straight, and you reach a point when you're tired, and there's it's really 3 coffees, I cannot take any more coffee. And that's when a tool such as diffusion, you can just tell it what you want, you put it in words and let the computer now do some work and give you different ideas when your human brain is tired and it needs a bit of a break, a rest, right before. So tools like this are really augmentation tools, and it's powerful. Actually, today even we have, on top of diffusion, if you look at extension warehouse in SketchUp, you will discover that many clients have built very real value extensions which are now loaded into SketchUp itself, right? They make SketchUp very powerful. But coming back to the point of AI, there are also customers and developers who are building enhancements which are AI enhancements in SketchUp. So I may name a few. For example, one of our most interesting ones who were with us in our trade show in US last year is Spacely AI. So you may check it out. The link maybe below too. I can do some promotion for them. If you check out Spacely AI, you'll be surprised what Spacely AI does for, in this case, specifically for an interior designer. So I won't say more, not on this podcast, but if you check it out, and if you're an interior designer, you'll be surprised. I will mention in this episode. And examples of that, and it's not the only examples, there are many examples, extensions which help you do cost estimation. There are cost estimation extensions which are plugins. There are those which help you show the phases in a construction build, and there are many more.
So this is one I don't know, how can I say questions with spicy questions. How can I say?
Sure. Why not some spice?
Yeah, I want some spice. Right? So literally SketchUp that only, the power of SketchUp now only depends on the third party, not on from their own.
No.
So the SketchUp site will not develop by their own, basically.
No, we're not saying that. Yeah. So diffusion itself will be.
I'm sorry for the spicy.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, that wasn't very spicy. That was just mild spicy. Yeah. So so contrary, diffusion itself will continue to be developed. Yeah. But it doesn't stop other people developing on top of SketchUp itself. Yeah. So you, as a SketchUp user, I like to use this example. It's a bit like your handphone which you use. Your handphone alone, as you know, is already very powerful. It has cameras, it can do a lot of things. But what makes our handphone even more powerful or applicable to our everyday lives is the apps, right? So in the same way, what makes SketchUp even more powerful or more applicable to your job, your role,
is the plugins.
Yes. It's the plugins.
So that's just saying that SketchUp is a platform, so everyone can use the platform to make it more powerful.
I wouldn't call it a platform. It's an incredible tool. It's a tool, but it's a tool which people liked it so much that they like to build their own enhancement on this tool. So if I may use an example of maybe the Swiss Army knife, right? The Swiss Army knife? Not really. Not example. If a Swiss Army knife is that knife in which you can open up different blades, screwdrivers, pins, etc. If you use that example, that's a tool which is a multi-tool, right? It can be a screwdriver, it can be a knife, it can be a blade, it can be a nail clipper. It's got so many things. But if you imagine SketchUp as a multi-purpose tool, the plugins extensions make this tool even better. That means it doesn't stay in its form, but because people have added more to it, it makes it even more powerful. And like coming back to the example, no doubt diffusion AI will continue to be developed within SketchUp itself. That will grow. In fact, there are things which I cannot say right here. They're still in the roadmap, so coming soon.
I hope they spill it, but now.
But there will be many which I think you'll be very surprised.
I will be surprised.
You'll be to many of our users. And again, I think for all our team and for all of us who meet customers today, to be honest, even when we share what's new right now, most of them realize that there is already so much they didn't know. From maybe it's the first time they saw Diffusion AI, maybe it was the first time they saw Trimble Connect, maybe it was the first time they saw there's another one called Pre-Design. Some of them didn't realize like layout today is so good at technical drawings and construction drawings, and so there are many areas which I think even without talking about future roadmap, if they just look at SketchUp 2025 today, it's an incredible tool already, and even existing customers themselves, I don't think are fully harnessing what's already there.
I see. I understand that. So literally, like every year keep updating and upgrading, right? So we're actually moving toward to at the end of our session actually, Derrick. So what you can say to our audience there, right? How can you yourself or SketchUp, right, might help to the audience, or it might be encourage them to use students or firms, right? So yeah, what you can say on the last words when you have the last words on them.
Maybe to the students first. I think to the students, you're probably learning this tool, like using this tool right now. You might be your first year, second, third year. Continue to play with it. It's so powerful, and if you have a bit of development skill, you'll be surprised that you may be even the next one developing some very cool plugins, or add-ons onto SketchUp itself. I think that's for the students. I think for our commercial users, really, I would just say, really go and explore. Go and explore the tool. Come to our resellers workshops. Like even those which are going to be run by BIMAGE in the future. Come to workshops and you'll be surprised to see some things which I think you never realize, and how it's applied across. And maybe you bring it home and realize that that can be applied to my area of work. And it's either going to save me more time or make me more productive, or just help me in what I'm doing. And may you be whether an architect, an interior designer, a project manager, a site officer, a product maker.
Also even the fashion also.
That's right. People who run their own, who are building maybe 3D models to sell, sofa and furniture online.
People nowadays, like for commercial part, like people just know SketchUp equals to 3D.
That's right.
They only know that. Only know that thing. Doesn't even. We have gone through for this first session, the early session. We talk about not only on 3D part. As you can say over here, as we can say over here, SketchUp is much more evolved. Much more evolved.
And I think it's almost in every industry. It's used by almost every industry. From the people who run shopping malls, and they use it for store design. From the likes of coffee chain makers, convenience stores, they are also our customers. And how do they use 3D models? They're redesigning stores every day. They are building new stores every day, right? So again, this application is wide across so many segments of business in so many industries.
That's the thing.
So in short, the message to every user there, continue to be our fan base. We love you guys. We love you guys, but explore more. You'll be very, very surprised. You may only know 10%.
You may only know 10%, alright? So if you want to know more, another 90%, just not only call Derrick, just call us BIMAGE Consulting. I can explain to you what more within in SketchUp environment, alright? So
thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Derrick. Okay, so everyone, thank you also for looking forward for our this episode, right? But for sure, I can guarantee you, please do comments if you do want to comment, alright? If you do have any suggestion for our next guest, right? So thank you so much, Derrick.
Wonderful.
Okay, see you. And when I see you. Jadi.
Siap.
Ngam.